All right, good morning. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop with you each and every weekday morning for the Center Square. You can go to thecentersquare.com, get the latest headlines in your inbox, including what we're going to be talking about this morning as President Donald Trump touts historic crime levels being low and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson promising prosecution of ICE. Seems like things continue to be volatile in politics. So appreciate you guys being here each and every weekday morning. Give me a thumbs up that you can see me, you can hear me if you're joining us live in the chat room. So appreciate you guys being part of the Center Square family. And again, you can go to thecentersquare.com and check out all of the headlines, not just from Illinois, but from across the country. But some of the stuff we're going to be focusing on. Mayor's ICE on notice order is a piece of toilet paper, according to the Chicago Fraternal Order of Police president. But you also have the Illinois Accountability Commission meeting on Friday. So we'll hear a little bit about that as well. All right, so it's right here with Illinois in Focus Daily. I appreciate you being here. Be sure to get the headlines in your inbox by signing up for the newsletter at the Center Square. Also, be sure to check back here with the Center Square a little bit later on today. We're going to be launching the Center Square Daily. It's more of a national focus, right? Here we look at Illinois, but with the Center Square Daily, we're going to be talking with reporters from the Center Square all across the country. Really excited for that, so thumbs up. All right, getting that notification from people in the chat room that we're looking good, sounding good. I'm ready to rock and roll, so let's do this. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop right here with the Center Square.
The Trump administration has made it clear that they do intend to return to our city in force in the coming spring. This order is a step towards making sure that Chicago is prepared.
Look, we stopped crime in our country and the border is the best it's ever been. Thank you very much. I got to go to a wedding. Thank you.
Mayor Brandon Johnson on Saturday and President Donald Trump on Sunday talking about law enforcement. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop with you each and every weekday morning here for the Center Square. You can wake up with us and get the headlines in your inbox at thecentersquare.com. Some of the headlines you'll see at the Center Square include Chicago Fraternal Order of Police boss. Mayor's ICE on notice order is piece of toilet paper. Another headline, Illinois Accountability Commission chair, people need to be prosecuted. So let's get to the latest here with the Center Square. So Thursday, Tom Homan, the president's border czar in Minneapolis, having to address questions from the media following two fatal police-involved shootings in Minnesota of people around ICE enforcement. And that's also after you've seen scores of video of different altercations between protesters and federal law enforcement. Even here in Illinois, you have various incidents of protests clashing with ICE, protests clashing with state and local police, and even police-involved shootings of suspected illegal immigrant. In Chicago, one instance of that, and others having confrontations with federal law enforcement, leading to some pretty controversial issues. So clearly this is, not just in Minnesota, not just in Chicago, over in the halls of Congress. They're also debating and trying to figure out exactly how to move forward with federal government spending. over the weekend. A lot more discussion about like 5 or 6 remaining spending bills to get through a fiscal, period. And some Democrats are looking to rein ICE in, saying that they can't wear masks, they have to wear body cameras, they have to have judicial warrants, not administrative judge warrants, who issue detention orders for illegal immigrants. So they're looking for a whole host of things. It could ultimately freeze funding for these federal agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security. So in the aftermath of those 2 police-involved shootings, Tom Homan showing up to Minnesota, and he talks about how the Trump administration is going to continue moving forward and how things aren't perfect.
The mission is going to improve because of the changes we're making internally. No agency or organization is perfect. President Trump and I, along with others in the administration, have recognized that certain improvements could and should be made. That's exactly what I'm doing here. As such, in meetings I've had with federal law enforcement managers, including ICE and CBP and other federal partners, as well as state and local officials.
The issue obviously continues with Homan on the ground talking to officials, and he had some demands. He said, open up the prisons and hand over illegal aliens who are in your jails and prisons to ICE.
Let ICE officers operate in the safety and security of a jail more than on the street. I think anybody here with common sense would say it's safer to arrest a public safety threat in the safety and security of a jail. And let me tell you, what is that going to result in? Less collateral arrests. When we go find that bad guy, when we find that bad guy, many times it's with others.
So Homan saying it's common sense to let local law enforcement cooperate with federal law enforcement. He also went on to say that if people have problems with the federal law, they shouldn't impede federal law enforcement. They should instead go to the halls of Congress and raise concern. But in Illinois, Governor J.B. Pritzker, when was this, back in November or so, he signed an executive order creating the Illinois Accountability Commission, and they had one meeting several weeks ago where they took some testimony from individuals who say that they witnessed crimes that Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Customs and Border Patrol officers did, and they took that testimony, and Friday they had yet another Accountability Commission hearing. Here is Garrett Graff. He is a journalist testifying to that commission here in Illinois, up in Chicago.
In total, according to CBP's own discipline reports, over the 20 years from 2005 to 2024, the last year numbers are available, at least 4,913 CBP officers and agents have been arrested themselves, some multiple times. In 2018 alone, a single CBP employee was arrested 5 times. To put that number in perspective, the population of CBP agents and officers who have been arrested would make it roughly the nation's 4th largest police department, equal in size to the entire Philadelphia police. Indeed, for much of the 2010s and likely before and since, it appears that the crime rate of CBP agents and officers was higher per capita than the crime rate of undocumented immigrants in the United States.
So, Graff talking about crime rates amongst ICE officials and giving the history of questionable activities there. You've got the headline here, Illinois Accountability Commission Chair, people need to be prosecuted. You can read that from the Center Square's Jim Talamonte, including more quotes from the commission. But Deborah Fleischhaker, who previously served as an executive secretary for the Department of Homeland Security, she talked about how quotas aren't helping the situation.
Characterized by quota-driven enforcement that prioritizes volume of arrests over public safety, increasingly militarized tactics and appearances in civilian communities, broad sweeps that rely on vague criteria or outright racial profiling rather than articulated legal standards, and rapid hiring and shortened training that leave officers inadequately grounded in civil law and civil liberties. Excessive quotas predictably increases the incidence of excessive force, indiscriminate enforcement, and civil rights violations. Such enforcement does not enhance public safety. It erodes trust, discourages cooperation with law enforcement, redirects other law enforcement activities, robs officers of their discretion, and ultimately makes communities less safe.
So the witnesses giving testimony during the Illinois Accountability Commission hearing and sharing their thoughts about ICE. And you even have the commission's chair saying that bad actors in ICE need to be prosecuted. And you see that, a lot with law enforcement officers who cross the law. They get prosecuted. In this case, I guess they're going to have to look at all these different instances and have investigations tie up resources to look at federal law enforcement, with Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson on Saturday signing an executive order that he had hinted at earlier in the week. And again, this comes after the Friday hearing with the Illinois Accountability Commission, with people saying ICE needs to be prosecuted. Johnson in Chicago on Saturday signing an executive order looking to do just that.
As part of this order, our police department will document ICE and Border Patrol activity and attempt to identify officers on the scene. This evidence will then be preserved and, at the direction of my office, will be referred to the state's attorney's office for potential prosecution.
So Johnson talking about investigating and turning over potential evidence. He says everything is possible here to look into.
If the federal government will not hold these rogue actors accountable, then Chicago will do everything in our power to bring these agents to justice.
And he also went on to talk about how he believes that Trump is coming back to Chicago in full force.
The Trump administration has made it clear that they do intend to return to our city in force in the coming spring. This order is a step towards making sure that Chicago is prepared.
Now, the order obviously signed Saturday. It's not just prospective, but it's retroactive. So it even goes back to look at previous ICE operations in the Windy City.
It also ensures, I want to make sure that this point is clear, that residents who have been harmed in the past through Midway Blitz, that this executive order allows for their evidence to be submitted as well. And when that probable cause has been established, we will make sure that it gets to the state's attorney for full prosecution.
So you've got the executive order from Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson looking to derive evidence, collect evidence, turn it over to prosecutors for possible prosecution. You've got the Illinois Accountability Commission that's gathering evidence as well. And the president, meanwhile, yesterday down in Mar-a-Lago, heading into a wedding, he said that the state has, the country has the lowest crime rate it's had in a long time.
You put the Democrats in, you'll end up with open borders again. You'll end up with crime all over the place. We have no crime anymore. I mean, think of it. The country has the lowest crime it's had in 125 years in recorded history. The year 1900, that's a long time ago.
And Trump went on to talk again about low crime.
Look, we stopped crime in our country, and the border is the best it's ever been. Thank you very much. I got to go to a wedding. Thank you.
I imagine we'll hear a lot more about all of this in the days and weeks to come as we continue our focus with Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and wake up with us here with the Center Square, and get the headlines in your inbox at thecentersquare.com. All right, that's all I got for you for this Monday. Greatly appreciate it. And be sure to stay tuned here to the Center Square as we prepare to launch the Center Square Daily. A little bit later on, early afternoon, you'll be able to get that. The intention is to have this live for you daily to look at not just what's going on in Illinois, but across the country. We've got incredible reporters in practically every region of the country looking at what's going on with state governments and local governments. And we're going to let you know all of the different things so that we all can learn in this country how government's impacting us, the taxpayer. And that's our goal at thecentersquare.com. So go to thecentersquare.com, get the newsletter in your inbox, get all the social media links, and be sure to stay tuned here for the Center Square Daily. only with the Center Square. See you back here tomorrow, guys. And I'll see you back here a little bit later on this afternoon.
Fred.